What's happening in Austin is happening in many parts of our country. Travis County gave more than $14 million in tax subsidies over the next 10 years to incentivize Tesla moving to Austin. $14 million in tax breaks here in Travis County to one of the world's richest corporations, run by literally the world's richest man, to create jobs that start at $35,000 a year. One of the things that this election is about is whether or not we elect leaders who are willing to rein in corporate power.
This is billions of dollars that governments at the state and local level are giving away that could go to pay for the sorts of things that government is supposed to do, that could go to pay for infrastructure, for healthcare, for schools. Estimates are anywhere from $45 to $90 billion annually between states and localities on corporate tax breaks like this. Corporate tax breaks do quite literally nothing for the local economy on any measure that we actually care about. They don't create jobs, they don't boost investment, they don't boost income. The things that they do increase are corruption, income inequality, that sort of stuff.
In Travis County, there's some really significant community needs, and I think losing tax revenue for many, many years has a real negative, very negative impact on the ability of the county to provide for and meet the needs of those residents.
We are really at a moment in our community where it is difficult to envision how working class and middle class people are going to be able to stay anywhere in our community without real change.
Corporations are really sort of leveraging one municipality out against another in trying to get additional funds for their businesses.
The way the process usually works is that the corporation rolls into town, makes a lot of big promises about the jobs it's going to create, the investment it's going to make, the economic benefits it's going to have. Most of the time, the corporation knew exactly where it was going before it asked for the tax breaks. Studies have shown that these tax breaks do not actually sway corporate locations in any way. So most of the time, these tax breaks are literally just free money to a corporation to do what it was always going to do anyway.
Now, I think in hindsight, nobody thinks that Elon Musk was going to actually move his factory and Tesla's headquarters to Tulsa. It was very clearly a play so that the company could extract as much public resources out of our community as possible, with very little community engagement, with very little transparent process involved.
The important thing to know about the process, though, is that it's often draped in secrecy, and that's intentional. Corporations do not want public input into these deals.
I think it was even like a Friday afternoon that the actual details of the agreement, and then a Monday or Tuesday vote. So it was like really just the span of days for how quickly it came about. You know, Texas is the most dangerous place in the country to work in the construction industry, that a worker dies every 3 days on a construction site here in Texas. That's why we really want to have a close look at when there's public tax dollars going to create construction jobs, that there is oversight and monitoring in place to make sure that higher conditions are met.
And it's totally unaccountable, totally unaccounted for, and oftentimes the corporations don't even have to prove that they're doing much of anything with it. They don't have to keep their job promises, they don't have to keep those investment promises. They just make off with your money and hope that you've forgotten about it.
We have a housing and affordability crisis in our community, and people recognize that the influx of jobs in our community without the appropriate housing is exacerbating the crisis that we have. We are really at danger in our community of becoming a place that working and middle class people can no longer afford to live. And I think that there's a real danger in Austin that we're going to become a place that's just a sort of tourist destination for the rich and the powerful. The reality is that you simply can't square an affordability policy with giving away millions of dollars in tax subsidies to the world's richest people.
I think it's really a question of like, is the community getting enough in return for the amount of tax revenue that is being given away? Is it worth the investment, and is it creating the jobs that people in Travis County need?
We are at danger of losing what makes Austin special if we don't start working towards making our community a more affordable place, orienting our policies towards working class and middle class people, and ending the practice of giving away corporate incentives to the richest amongst us.